I want you to think about the last time you compromised a standard you were proud of. Nothing small. I mean, something that you actually built, a real one, something that you actually held. Then somebody walked into your life at the right temperature. Maybe it was literally the right temperature outside, heating things up. You watch yourself lower the bar, just like a thermostat. I want you to think about why that happened, because I bet you something changed. The season changed. I bet it was the summertime. Welcome to the summer trap. I am Sir Don. This is Mindless Shenanigans. Let's talk about it.
Welcome to Mindless Shenanigans, where the takes are hot, the jokes are wild, and nothing is off limits. Quick disclaimer: everything you hear is strictly opinion, personal perspective, or just flat out nonsense. We do not condone violence or violence behavior. Don't come for us. This is for entertainment purposes only, not facts, not legal advice, and definitely not safe for any sensitive ears. So buckle up and let the shenanigans begin.
Now I'm going to do something that's very uncomfortable for me, but I got to tell the truth. It's the only way to do this. So I have to do this. Let me tell you about the 4th of July. A while back. This was a few years back. I was on a good stretch. I was serious about work, a routine, like clockwork. I had a structure, clear with my time. I was about what I was building, no distractions. Gym, non negotiable. Circle was tight, low focus. My focus was there, locked in. Wasn't no turning it off. Then the summer showed up. Invitation to a barbecue. Y'all know me. Sometimes I almost wouldn't even have went. But hey, it was the summertime. Why not? Had the energy to go, be social, and it was just a feeling in the air. Something you couldn't really describe, but the feeling that was there. They were responsible. Everybody know the energy in the summertime, where just the vibes come out. You know what I'm saying? Sparks fly, different thing. But everybody decides the consequences, are willing to take the risk or the consequences in the summertime that they want back in January or February. We're not taking the same risk, and that's something we got to talk about. But I met someone, and it was just vibes, good time. But by August, the second week of August, I had missed about 2, 3 weeks at the gym and spent hundreds of dollars on appetizers, tequilas, and brunches just in a couple weeks. And the reason I can be specific about it because it was about $800, $800 in that short amount of time on a lifestyle of summer companionship. I mean, I'm talking about rooftop brunches with somebody you didn't even like that I just enjoyed the vibes with. Just like some of you I like the version of myself that existed in the summertime. It was easy. You let your guard down. But I wasn't being accountable, disciplined, and that's why I ended up disappointed. The part that I am slightly embarrassed to say out loud is that arguing over text messages. It's 2 a.m. over something stupid about liking a beach picture, Instagram picture of hers. Not quick enough. That's funny, right? I need you to sit with that. A man who considered himself intentional, sitting in his car at 2 a.m., arguing over a picture or something being liked. All because the weather gave me permission to stop being myself. An excuse, really. I had to learn the lesson the hard way. A temporary season does not deserve a permanent headache. So write that down. Temporary season does not justify a permanent headache. I let the weather dictate my worth by not sticking to the discipline and rules that I did every day all year round before it got warm outside. And I'm telling you this so you don't have to learn the same way, hard way I did. So it's time to have a seasonal intervention, fellas. Ladies, you can join in too. Diagnostics. Let's talk about why this is actually happening. So let's talk about why this is actually happening because this isn't random. A lot of people haven't been through it before. The summer trap has an anatomy built up. It's a system like a machine. And once you see how it works, you can work around it. But you have to understand how it works, just like any system. In the wintertime, in the cold months, you were accountable, you had standards, you had structure, right? Everything that you built up in your daily work was intact. Work, gym, home, routine. You built it. Well, maybe because some people don't like going outside in the cold. Can't have fun. Can't do the same things. Can't wear the same clothes. Right? So that standard feels easy, right? And it's easy to keep because there's nothing distracting you consistently, right? Conspiring to distract you at that. But the summer it is designed to keep the lower your guard. It's designed to make it easy. Right? You're supposed to have fun. The days are longer, sun is up, there's more people outside, more availability, more things to see, to catch your eye. Which means you got more choices now that you didn't have before. As the seasons change, your social calendar gets filled up. It's more birthday parties, cookouts, days parties, rooftops, right? It's just a lot going on. So the opportunity to run into something, catch a vibe, is going to be there. It's going to be on back of your neck too, right there calling you, knocking on the door. The clothes change, which is not a morality statement. Again, it's just the effects of the season. Decision making. You got to be careful on that. Now, for some of us, now for some people, what's being on, what's being worn, what's being seen can definitely affect your decision making. Everything is bright. Everything is brighter and louder. Like I said, more accessible. Everybody like easy access. And then, so what does that does to one's decision making, right? It may feel like they're, it may feel like you're doing something that's probably unnecessary because it's easier to do and not stick to the discipline. You have to start when you catching vibes and looking for vibes. Actually, start paying attention to the compatibility, right? Just because somebody in the pool with you, that doesn't mean they need to be coming to the shore near you, getting out at the same time as you. You got to pull them out with you. I ain't saying letting them drown, nothing like that. What I'm saying is just because you can access to them easily, don't mean you need to be with them and get with them and give them your energy that easily as well. There's a lot of fish in the sea, a lot of sharks. Just be careful. Don't trade your 5-year plan just for some vibes. I need you to understand what vibes just are. It isn't a feeling. It's not just a vibe. It's more of an escape, an excuse from being held accountable from the center of what you said. Hmm. What you wear or something that you're gonna pull out here in summertime that you didn't do in the wintertime speaks intentional, right? Just vibes is a standard compression in real time. That's all it is. Going with the flow. Every time you let one of these vibes override the standard that you set for yourself, you lowering it each time. So you might be going through more bullshit with somebody else each time over and over and over because you keep lowering the standards. Or even with the same person. You go through that so many times through the summer. By August, it ain't even standard no more. It's just a suggestion or something you hope to check off one of your lists, one of your green flags. Become a standard to strong or loose preference now. Some you used to mandate that was necessary. It's no longer there. Why is that? The second piece of diagnostics is the accountability of being isolated. Because think about what happens when you're so isolated by yourself for so long, right? Through those winter months. In your regular life, every day, through those routines, people, your environment can affect everything that you said about the standard for yourself. How you look at the gym, your work, your circle, how tight it is, right? All that can be lost in the summer if you don't pay attention and stay disciplined. You go on vacation, sometimes your routine can break. It's hard to bring it back in, right? When your environment changes and you have those external distractions and you don't go back to what you kept you grounded in the first place, it can throw you off the track, right? It gets harder to maintain every day. Don't think about it as you're weaker in the summer. You're just more alone with your decisions. And when you're in isolation and you don't hold that standard, mm-mm-mm, that's when you're the most vulnerable. That's when it's easy for people to attach to you, right? Especially someone who has a big heart, who's loving and opening, who can easily get taken advantage of or put yourself in a position that's not favorable for you in the long term. Now, let's talk about this specifically because when your guard is down, you're just vibe mode, you're feeling generous, financially generous, or when you're being too emotionally available to people, you're off your routine. That energy is going to throw you off, and that's exactly when you got these sucker fish showing up, right? People attaching to your side, stealing your energy, stealing your time. And I need you to understand what a sucker fish is in this context because I'm not talking about always talking about referring to people with bad intentions. I'm not even talking about people who are out here doing things that may end up with people getting their feelings hurt. Referring to the entire relationship strategy, right? How they approach someone and they're basically trying to find somebody who is open and relaxed, right? Maybe going with the flow, possibly, right? And the moment you're temporary off your game, you got somebody trying to go in here and get it right with you, knowing they're not looking for nothing long term, but because it seems available and you seem easy right now with your guard down, people have those toxic relationships or parasitic relationships, literally just for the season, right? It's a lot of people got this pattern. A lot of people got this pattern where in the summertime they are blooming or blossoming, right? Looking good or glowing up only because they attach somebody new with all this energy that they taken from you, right? Because every parasite needs a new host in order to survive. And this became you this summer or a summer before. So you're less to be on top of your game or less discerning when you're at your most available and your guard is down. Think about this. When you outside having a good time in the summertime, you're not on guard, right? Trying to have a good time, you relax, weather's nice, the view, you're wearing something good, you got something good to drink, you know what I'm saying? It's good vibes and energy. You're not in the same mode that you would be in February, like an interview mode where you're asking the right questions and checking off all these boxes, right? Because you were intentional about your time. Now, for some of y'all, it's because it was cold. So if you was gonna be dealing with your time, it was gonna be somebody you know you keep you warm at night. But when you're intentional about your time, you know what I'm saying? Now you're kind of real generous, right? You're like some of the things that you might not have laughed at before that you usually would clock now looks different. You're more open, which is why you can easily have somebody slide right in and get you into a situation that you wasn't even looking for, that you're not even compatible with. Hmm. That's somebody trying to run that strategy, that game on you. But you got to see it before they start clinging to you. Because if you don't, you're gonna get drained. Time, energy, your peace, your money, all that emotional bandwidth can shrink in a matter of time, and it can change you for the better or for the worse if you let it. You can't put a price on your peace. You opened the door and thought you were being vulnerable with somebody, or you thought you were just being social. The vibes sometimes that people are gonna show up with is just an experience that you haven't had yet. That's why it feels good. That's why it's new. That's why it's a big rush, the beginning. It's one of the best things. They don't like the version of you that's disciplined, that has a routine. They don't like that. They don't want the version of you that's planning for 5 years from now, even 3 years from now. One that's right now, that's relaxed, with his guard down, that's open. Yeah. That's because in 90-degree weather, your mindset changed. What you looking at change. How you feeling change. Right? The summertime, and we grown, right? So unless you still doing temporary secondary school, I mean, what about the summertime changes your lifestyle? Unless it changes the work that you do or your availability to go and do these things, right? Obviously, somebody like a teacher, right, during the school year, those months constantly busy and different things like that. So it's gonna look different. Now in the summertime, you wide open. But for some of us, where the season doesn't actually affect your job, how does that now give you more availability to do the things that you weren't doing before? The reason they move this way is because you know that somewhere in the back of your mind that this isn't right, that you shouldn't be doing this. But just like it's not even like alcohol, but you get a sniff of that summer air. Oh man, and you're not even thinking straight. You just be calling. And when the summertime coming, like I said, everything feel good. You think this gonna last forever. It's a good vibe, and that's all it is. Look at the situation. I need you to think about this. If it's making so much sense now, will it make sense when it's cold outside? Will this make sense when it gets cold outside? Ask yourself that. Because this isn't a relationship, or it's not a relationship. It's just a seasonal subscription you forgot to cancel. Period. And nobody likes unwanted, unpaid subscriptions that they're not using. So check your statement on that. See what the balance is. But this is what I actually want to talk about, because everything so far is just a setup for the thing that's underneath, right? The summer trap really isn't about just the summer. It's more about the environment where most of the decisions you can see are visible. That's it. It's about you getting permission to do what you feel like you weren't justifiable to do 3 to 4 months ago while it was cold outside, right? Because you were holding your stand in place, waiting until opportunity to come and do what was necessary. Period. And that's the uncomfortable truth about all of it. We're using a certain time of the year, your environment, to have justifiable behavior. Because your environment does determine how someone's act. You don't act that same way at the job. You don't act like that at outings when it comes to, if you at work outings or family outings, right? If you had a standard, it should always exist regardless of the routine. Sorry, it should always exist regardless of the time of the year. If you got a gym routine, stick to it. If it's on the calendar, stick to it. Don't change it just because of how the weather is. Same way with your diet. I'm not saying you're gonna do what you're gonna do, you're gonna eat. If your standard only exists based on your seasonal change, it was never intentional anyway. You have to hold yourself accountable at all times. The winter keeps you indoor and focused. Just because it's sunny outside doesn't mean you should lose that same drive. The goal should not change. Your environment should enhance what you're trying to build, not tear it down. That's more of a, you don't have a routine. You don't have a standard. You have a schedule. A standard's gonna hold in July at the cookout. Someone standing in front of you, the sundress, and that music is right, shaking your whole body, and it's saying just one time, just this once. That's a real standard. Surviving the rooftop brunches and the week at the beach on vacation. I'm not saying not have fun. I ain't saying don't go get you one. You know what I'm saying? Fellas, definitely, you see something you like and you know it's worth it, get you that beautiful lady. You know what I'm saying? But it's not because you're rigid. It's not because you're not having fun or not want to be social or you're not looking for your own partner in the future, your wife. Because you know you made it clear you have to understand the mission. If you don't, that's gonna be the problem. Who are you when you're not enforcing your own standard? Are you walking into the summer trap? The work that the summer trap is actually asking you to do, and most of us men, we never do it. It's just easier to blame the heat rather than just admit we haven't done enough work consistently within ourselves, right, to avoid what happens in July. Just got to get better every day. We just got to get better every day. That's it. That's all. Now, the real question is, how do we protect ourselves? Not from the summer, because I want everybody to enjoy themselves. I don't want people to be scared of the summer. I'm not telling you trying to stay inside, scare you, live in a bubble. None of that. You should be enjoying the rooftops, the beaches, all the cookouts, right? The scenery. But how do we enjoy all of that, right, without becoming or losing ourselves, unrecognizable, by the time the summer over? because it's gonna happen. Summer goes by quick. By the time September show up, we look back like, dang, I did all of that. Yeah, you did, sir. Like, let's try to implement the 3 rules. If we set a standard just in the summertime alone, I promise you we'll make it through it together. All right, we'll make it through together. Rule number 1, 48-hour rule.
That's a wrap on this episode of Mindless Shenanigans. We appreciate you tapping in and vibing with us. If you laughed, learned, or yelled at your screen at any point, go ahead and follow us everywhere. We're on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, all of it. Just search Mindless Shenanigans. Don't forget to subscribe, rate the show, and share it with someone who needs the shenanigans in their life. New episodes dropping weekly. Until next time, stay safe, stay real, and stay a little mindless.